Welcome to my podcast. Once again, Bravo Podcast. My name is Bravo, and it's always my pleasure having you once again. Please do not forget to always share our content once you find value in our content. Share it on your platforms so that someone out there can be inspired, motivated, and encouraged in their lives. Today is something different. My guest is Praise Hakiza. Hakiza is a lawyer. She's a family lawyer. Hakiza is a married lady with a family, and she's a mother of one. Hakiza has worked in different places, including FIDA and LapsNet. Her kind of work is so amazing. And I know today you're going to learn a lot of things. I know families may be there with different issues, different challenges, but out there, you may not know that you can go somewhere and be helped. In this case, we're talking about litigation. Litigation or mediation. What is mitigation and what is mediation? Today we're going to know how strong is each part of those two, mitigation and litigation. And you learn today that actually there's a lot of information that you did not know while you're going through different challenges as a family. You're most welcome, Hakiza, Counsel Hakiza, my land friend. Most of you don't know that I'm a lawyer. I'm just joking, but she's my land friend. You know, lawyers always say they are fellow land friends. Hakiza, you're most welcome, Hakiza.
Thank you, Mr. Bravo.
And it's a pleasure being part of the Land Friends. And you are going to tell us as well why you identify yourselves as Land Friends than any other person.
That's a topic for another day.
Yeah. So please go ahead and introduce yourself. And it's a pleasure having you once again.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Mr. Bravo, thank you for having me. I'm very, very much honored to be here. My name is Praise, like he earlier said. My name is Praise Hakiza. I'm a lawyer by profession, and I'm very passionate about family law practice. I am very passionate about seeing families resolve their issues out of court. That is mediation. He talked about litigation and mediation. And yeah, that's what I'm very passionate about. And I'm very, very honored to be here this morning.
Well, it's about passion. Some people go to school just to study, but for you, choose it as passion.
Very passionate.
That's amazing. Hakiza has had a lot of cases she has handled under mitigation. Of course, she's gone for litigation as well, but her power is mediation. And today we're going to concentrate on mediation. Both of them, we're going to concentrate on them. But one that we're going to concentrate on is the power of mediation. Yes. The power of mediation in family challenges, in business, in everything that we have. As we talk about family, remember, mediation or dialogue, it applies to each and every aspect of our life. Yes, Hakiza would want to know who you are, how you went through school, what made you choose among all other law, specialties. Why did you choose family law?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like you said, I'm a lawyer. It means I went to law school.
Yes.
I joined law school. I was at Uganda Christian University, Mukono, where I did my 4 years degree and joined the Law Development Center, where I concluded my back course and later joined FIDA Uganda. Yeah. And you know, FIDA Uganda is more about fighting for the rights of children and women. Yeah. And where there are children and women, that's a family, right?
Yeah.
So I was there for some time, and I realized that, you know, family is the smallest unit. Yeah. And once family is affected in any way, it affects the child, the mother, and the father. Yeah. So I saw how FIDA always made sure that these matters are, discussed in a round table before running to court. And I saw so many matters being resolved that way. Yeah. So many of them. I'm like, okay, this actually works. And one thing I realized that every time there was a mediation, and a matter is resolved at a level of mediation, wow, the relationship keeps right there. Yes,
Yeah.
the parents may have separated, but there is communication, there is shared responsibility. You find people settle down and say, okay, fine, I'll pay school fees, I'll pay medical care. And the mother of the child says, I'll do clothes, I'll do food. So you find that it is something they have amicably agreed to do, to take on the responsibility of the taking care of their children, but on an amicable ground.
Yeah.
So I loved it, and I realized that this can actually help so much. It can help family and also help court with backlog. That there are not so many matters coming in for litigation, yet they can actually be handled at the level of mediation. So that's how I picked interest.
Well, did we say that you picked this interest after involving yourself in the court process and going through this, or it was at the back of your mind that when I become a lawyer, I think I should be able to specialize in family law?
Actually, at the back of my mind, I didn't really have intentions of specializing in family law.
Yeah.
From law school, I used to love land law,
Yeah.
land transactions. I was very passionate about criminal law, um, very passionate about contracts, that kind of area, transactional law. But with time, I think because my first experience was family,
Yeah.
and I realized the power we have as lawyers to ensure that these issues are resolved in a round table. And that's how I picked interest. But from way back joining law school, I was very, very passionate about land law. I still do
Yeah.
land transactions. I still practice that, but there's something you're passionate about, and that is family law practice. It's passion.
Yeah.
I love it. I love to resolve issues. It gives me so much joy when a lady texts you and says, if it were not for you,
Yeah.
I don't think my family would be where we are right now. If it was,
Yeah.
that level of you touching lives, it's like a ministry, really.
Yeah.
You find yourself touching lives, but through your career and
Yeah.
profession.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned to love it so passionately.
Wow, that's amazing. I know some of you may be watching out there and you think and say, how do I change what I love best? She got into this family law after she had started practicing because at her back of her mind, she wanted to do land law. But you see how she got into the system and she decided to develop her passion in that area where she actually knew or found that there's lacking or something where she could expound her potential. We all have this in life that you study something, but along the way you realize that when you get in there, there's something that actually identifies your personality, identifies who you are. We agree that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it's amazing. It's amazing. Now, with this kind of work that you have done, before we dive into other questions, we're looking at, I want us to bring out culture. We have different cultures in Africa. Mitigation or dialogue is not our thing. Somehow, somewhere, we go into this where we find that even in mitigation, a man wants to win, a woman wants to win.
Oh, yes.
How have you managed to go through all these where there are egos? Because whoever comes into that, they have a lot of ego. Because, by the time a family leaves their bedroom, leaves their sitting room, leaves their compound, leaves actually their perimeter wall,
Oh, yes.
and chooses to go
Court.
to court, means there's a lot that has failed. And you who's there, how have you managed to go through this and manage many challenges through this kind of work?
Thank you. Brilliant question. Naturally, everyone has an ego.
Yeah.
And when they come to us, as I earlier told you, I support the mediation office at Kasangati Court.
Yeah.
And I have handled very many people from different walks of life, the Muslims, the Christians, those who practice Buddhism.
Yeah.
We will handle everyone the way you are. But one of the things we do first is we make sure the atmosphere is friendly. We make sure you enjoy the place you step into. I keep telling people when they walk into office, I tell them this is your safest space.
Yeah.
I assure you, it's your safe space. Whatever we discuss here remains here. And I want you to be sure that you can trust us with your information. And I want you to be sure that when we If we are here to help you. So one of the things we do is we introduce ourselves, usually two.
Yeah.
There's another lady, Miss Agnes, that I work with. She's good with psychology. She's good with psychology. With the law, so you find we are good.
Yeah.
Now we sit someone down and introduce ourselves, what we do, and then tell them whatever you discuss is safe with us, and also make sure that you're comfortable.
Yeah.
We make sure you're comfortable, and we set ground rules. If you want to pick up on call, please step out. And if you want to address someone, don't say this and that. No, address them by name, because by the time they come to our office, they are no longer sweetheart, my love. No, they use all sorts of names.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman that walked to office and said, "Cancel, I cannot, I'll use Luganda. Sola tula no mchalo yo." I'm like,
Yeah.
but why are you?
Yeah.
A family is like, mchalo yo and Peter Shidomola.
Yeah.
So I told him, no, now here,
Mhm.
you're not Chidomola.
Yeah.
Here you're Mr. So and so,
Yeah.
and here she is Miss so and so.
So-and-so.
So we always make sure we emphasize respect, mutual respect. Even as you're addressing someone, we emphasize mutual
Humanity first.
respect. So then we tell them the advantages of mediation over litigation. So you find that most of them are maybe referred to us from court, and we need to help them understand why they are here. Some people want to argue, yeah? The man wants to argue, nina lawyer wange kamlete, nina obujulizi, and we're like, it is well.
Yeah.
But for the fact that we are here, let's talk. Can we amicably talk? So you find that you are somehow putting the ego, the anger, the bitterness down. We are basically talking. We are basically trying to seek. Remember, we are neutral parties.
Yeah.
You have come to us, and
Yeah.
we have to make sure we are neutral even when we listen. So we give them opportunity for the first person to speak, the second person to speak, the person replies, and then we tell them, we assure them the solution is within you.
Yeah.
From what you have said, you have a solution. So what do you think we should do, Mr. maybe Bravo? What do you think we should do, maybe Miss Rachel? Then you find that they actually have a solution within
themselves.
And someone says, okay, where were you to table this? And someone is like, but he does not give me a platform.
Yeah.
Even the man says, every time I bring an issue, she's disrespectful.
Yeah.
So you find that actually they have a solution, but the underlying factors to putting this solution into use,
Yeah.
it doesn't exist. So we give them that opportunity to give their views. So you find that, and we keep telling them it's a negotiation.
Yeah.
No one wins.
Yeah.
No one loses. We are both going to live with something that we are comfortable with. And we keep encouraging them that mediation, the beauty with mediation, the beauty with resolving a family matter under mediation is the solutions come from us.
Yeah.
So even when we have a consent, at the end of the day, you content, the consent came from me. I was not forced. Court didn't give me an order.
Yeah.
That's what differentiates mediation from litigation. With litigation, court gives an order, and it is sealed, and it can be put into execution and all that. But here,
Yeah.
you consent. You say fine. Most of the common matters we receive are custody
Yeah.
matters of children, who should have the child, then maintenance.
Yeah.
So we have someone saying, okay, I'm going to have the children during school, you have the children during holiday, or if the children are in boarding, the first holiday, the father has the children, the second holiday, the mother has the children, the final holiday, which is third term, it is shared.
Yeah.
Now, this comes from the two of you.
Yeah.
So you know at the end of term one, I don't have the children, but I'm having the children at the end of term two. And at the end of term three, I'm having the children for 1 month of December. And at the end of the month, the father will have the children.
Yeah.
So you find that even when you leave court, you leave content, very confident that the decision came from you. It is not an order from above that you should do it.
Yeah.
So that's how we have managed to have people calm down their ego, put down the bitterness, and put humility at play and accept that, we are both parents. And that's one thing people forget, that we are both parents. You are a father to this child, I'm a mother to this child. What do? We are parents. Let's co-parent. Yes, that's how we managed to do it.
You know, when you talk about dialogue, in life we've not been taught dialogue as a very important aspect of life, or always come in to win. Now, given your age,
Yeah.
still a young woman.
My age has always been put into question.
Given your age, what challenge have you encountered? Because if you're working on a couple that is much older than you,
Oh yes,
and they
so
look
many
at
of
your
them.
age and they say, but she's a young girl, you are not a mother. Because I believe they would say, you are not a mother, so you can't understand my situation. How have you managed to go through all these kinds of, I would call them attacks, because somebody comes and says, your children are still young, or you are not yet a mother, and how
Even
do you
married.
mitigate? You're
Why
not yet married. Let's talk about maybe the lawyers who are not yet married. They say you're not married, so you will not understand this kind of point. How have you managed to defend? Okay, not defend, but have you managed to use your profession to show everyone out there that it's about the profession, the training,
and not the age.
and not the age?
Well, I faced this challenge so much in the first 2 years.
Yeah.
I was so young, fresh from school, and then boom, I'm given such an office. I was excited. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And now comes that time of inviting people for mediation. The beauty with FIDA, I told you that's why I worked first, is they first issue an invitation. They don't run to court. That's a beauty. They first issue an invitation, please come and we handle this issue amicably. And then people come. So when people come, you are 26, 27. And yeah, you have a couple that is 45 and 50. But you have to make sure you mediate these people. And there's a Haji who walked and said, Kationa na kola chi mu bintu byange. And I told him, it's okay, just sit. I am here as an organization, not under my own capacity. We can really discuss these issues. So you find that you lay a ground way out of your age. So you put your age aside and then bring the mediation skills you have attained or been trained on table. So by the end of the day, when these people get out with a settlement, without wasting time with court, without paying lawyers for representation, and someone goes out content with the consent they have made, it's very satisfying. So it's that same person who comes in saying there's nothing you can do, resolving a matter of a 50-year-old at your age, who goes back with a consent, happily stamped, signed by him with a thumbprint. Meanwhile, because I usually use thumbprints, people deny these
signatures.
So me, I tell them it's okay. Nina wano inki.
What is it? You're great.
So someone puts it there as if they are going to vote, but this is the consent they have made. So it's very, very satisfying. That same person is going to, if they found a problem, they will tell you, child. So most of the part we have received are referrals. So you find that at your age, you're being referred people twice your age, but at the end of the day, they go happy. There's recently I handled a matter of a couple that I know, and it was a very big issue, very big criminal matter. But I told them we can resolve this. And the gentleman looked at me and said, for you're friends with a woman, how sure am I you're going to... I told him, we can resolve this. So I scheduled an appointment. So they come through. These people are way older than me. They come through, we sit down. I tell them, please bring every family member you think can be on your side. You think needs to hear about this. You think has had information about you that is not correct. Can we have them so that these issues are aired out? So they come. They were about 13. Everyone had their people. So we sit. What I did is I listened to everyone one by one. I didn't mind how many hours it took us to conclude. By the end of the day, the woman and the man went back as a happily married couple. But this comes out of skill, out of experience, out of the time you've been doing this over and over again. So you will learn how to handle every age bracket. The young, the old, the really old. So you somehow learn how to handle people besides your age. So now you use experience. At this time, I use more of experience than age. So people no longer say, but this girl, no. They refer.
They refer the office,
No,
especially
you
it's
have
about
an issue?
respecting the office.
Yes, you have this issue. Genda ku kooti y'ekasanga ti waliyo abakyala bajja kukuyamba. Because so many of their matters have been resolved. And actually 90% of our family matters end
Absolutely.
at mediation. And I'm sure even the judicial officers, when they are sending us those people for mediation, they are confident we shall deliver.
Wow,
Yeah.
wonderful. Don't you think that that takes away the clients of a lawyer?
I think that is more of perception.
Yeah,
Yes, it's more perception because if remember when a client comes to you as a lawyer,
yeah,
you are going to go ahead and do your job,
yeah,
file the
yeah,
matter, and they give you a hearing date.
yeah,
So on that, already you've negotiated with your client
yeah.
how much you're going to be.
Okay.
It actually saves you
Yeah, that
as a
just
lawyer
saves me.
because that if you're going to spend about 3 months in court, you're spending one day,
Yeah, one day.
but you've already been
Really.
paid.
Yeah,
So it is. I always tell lawyers embrace mediation,
mediation.
embrace it
Yeah,
because when you reach court and ask for a matter to be referred for mediation, it doesn't take away your legal fees.
yeah.
You already received.
Here we go. But you see, this is where a lawyer knows that once this matter takes 2 years, 3 years, they already have where they are picking some money. Because every time the lawyer goes to court, it is money.
But how
Uh,
much money is it?
Probably you know that I have my clients in the next 3 years, and we keep postponing these cases because we need money from the clients. So I think your mediation may be taking away people's clients, and I don't know how most lawyers view it because most lawyers have always told us, go to court, we can win this, and every lawyer tells you they can win the case. Is that the matter? Does every lawyer win each and every case?
Then we wouldn't be having appeals.
Yes,
Wouldn't
appeal.
be having people saying court is unfair.
Yeah.
You know, every time court is unfair, that person has lost the case, right?
Yes, yeah, true.
And they have had lawyers.
Yes, and they have had lawyers as well.
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. So thank you so much, guys. I hope we are able to learn from Hakiza. And it doesn't take, it's not about the age, but the experience and the power of that office that you've been sent to.
Yeah.
And it's what people should believe in. I know there are so many women out there, men out there that are having these issues. Briefly, before we proceed, what are the most common challenges you faced, most especially as a woman, mitigating issues that are involving the men?
Men are very good people.
Yeah.
I keep saying
Yeah.
men are very good people. It may not be because of gender that
Yeah.
maybe I've experienced these challenges.
Yeah.
It may be because of the office.
Yeah.
That someone comes and doesn't believe that actually mediation works.
Yeah.
Someone comes with an idea of ninogenda mu kkooti nkakasa omulamuzi
Yeah.
nti omukyala ono tayagala this. So you find that someone has come with a mentality of court. So
Yeah.
it is very hard for you to convince this person
Yeah.
that you can actually have a solution under mediation. It's very hard for this person to believe that omulamuzi wa takwasaganyiza musango gwange, who are you to handle my matter and
Yeah.
think I can?
Yeah.
So that is the biggest challenge I have actually faced, is convincing someone and tell them that the power of mediation.
Mediation.
In that you have to tell someone experience. You have to tell someone the matters you have handled before and have ended.
So that they can develop the trust. Yeah.
So that one of the biggest challenges has been trusting the
Yeah.
mediation process.
Yeah.
Because for them, they believe a court order. I want a court order. I want.
And they believe when they're in front of the judge, okay, they feel that the judge has more powers than you. Because when somebody,
Which
the
is
case,
true.
when the case comes up from the judge to the mitigation team, they feel as if they have been taken off, that your case has no much
Yes.
power. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And I thank God that the judicial officers have also embraced mediation. So
Yeah.
they first mentally get you prepared
Yeah.
for mediation. Tell you, we are going to refer you for mediation.
Yeah.
And see if the matter can be settled out of court. But also, I have not sat on that. I have gone ahead to make community sensitizations. Once in a while, I'm invited to churches.
Yeah.
I'm invited to communities.
Yeah.
I'm invited in maybe a community of LC ones in communities to talk to them about the values of mediation, or mediation versus litigation. And so this has created trust out there, that even those LC ones, once they fail to handle a matter, they're going to say, no. Tubasindikewa, a mediator.
Yeah.
So you find that people have now learned and embraced from the community level, because we have done sensitization, we have done awareness in communities.
Yeah.
where we have got an opportunity, where there's a pastor that called me in Gayaza and told me, I want you to come and speak to my people in church. This church has over 200
members,
congregants, yes. So I spoke to them, most of the women. It was a women's conference. I spoke to them and told them, you can actually resolve these family matters out of court. And the most important thing, I keep telling people, one of the most beautiful thing or benefits of mediation is it preserves relationships. It results in that you don't have to go to court and argue. You know, when you're in court, everyone wants to win. But when you are mediating, you find yourself airing your view. What should be done, airing what hurt you.
You're being part of the process
Exactly.
of the decision making.
You're part and parcel of it.
And I see that most women have actually not been part of the decision making. And this brings up a lot of cohesion, fights here and there.
Exactly.
Wow. To be sincere, I would like to appreciate the government of Uganda as well and the whole judiciary, because they have embraced mediation as a way of resolving these matters and reducing court cases that have been pending. And yet most of them, mediation can sort it out within the next 2-3 weeks. So we should applaud the government of Uganda for doing this. And I think for whoever is watching, would like to appreciate you for this, telling people that most cases do not need the judge. They actually need mediation. And then the judge comes in to put in place what the team members have agreed upon. So thank you so much, Akiza. And I believe that our viewers will be able to get a lot of information right from you. Now, I have this question that I put here. I didn't want to mess up with it. A family member is considering divorce. How might mediation help, resolve or preserve relations?
Like I said, Bravo, mediation preserves relationships. In that, even at a point of the marriage breaking, but you still have the sanity to say, we can discuss this and end the marriage peacefully. One, with court process, it is litigation. We are going in, everyone is coming to prove their point. So you're going to bring out all sorts of evidence as long as it helps you win. Now, how mediation preserves relationships is you're before a third party, a neutral third party, impartial. So now this person is here to listen to the petitioner and the respondent. That is the person who brought the matter and the person they brought the matter against. And now there are questions you first discuss. One, when you're handling matters of divorce, is we have children usually involved. We have property involved. Usually the property is either owned by, it's either matrimonial property or it's jointly owned property or property owned by one of the people in the marriage. So when you come under mediation, how does mediation preserve the relationship? One of the things mediation does is it gives you opportunity to, we even ask you, are you still interested in the marriage? Even when you've brought your divorce petition, maybe it's before us for mediation, a chance for mediation before litigation starts. And someone says, I'm not interested in the marriage. Then the other party says, I'm still interested in the marriage. So how do we, maybe the reasons why this person is not interested in the marriage is your behavior. So they table, I don't want this marriage because you're cruel. I don't want this marriage because you're adulterous. I don't want this marriage. So someone is able to tell them, well, I may have been adulterous. I may have been insensitive in the marriage, but I'm intending to transform, intending to be better. We had such a matter. The woman wanted a divorce and the man didn't want the divorce. And we asked the lady, can you compromise and maybe have another chance in the marriage? The woman actually said, yes, I can. To me, that was already enough. Yes, I can, on condition this man does this, this and that. And I asked the man, can you do them? He's like, yes, I can actually transform. It's been the alcohol, but I can, it's not that I was born drinking. I can actually
leave it.
Yes, leave it or tone it down. And then the other issue was the woman said, this man comes home late. I'm not sure if I'm married or not married. And when the man explained, he said, I think I've ever been drained into my work. I'm drawn so much into the work and forget I have a family. So you find that they didn't have, before she petitioned for divorce, they had not had that communication. Then
and
there
the
are
protection
those,
of family.
yes, there are those who come to me, and now you're saving the children.
Yeah.
So, but there are those the one tells you, no matter what, I
Um,
can't get back into this marriage.
Yeah.
And the man says, I couldn't wait.
For
I
you to
was
go. I was waiting for
praying
this, that you go.
that you leave
Yes.
without me touching you, without me pushing you. So, and you're
Yes.
like, okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, there they don't even go into, you did this, you did that.
Yeah. They're already
They're ready.
prepared to leave.
Yes, they're already prepared. So you're able to have a consent that the matter is hereby resolved, that the
Yeah.
marriage is hereby resolved.
Resolved.
And you're like, okay, how about the children? If the marriage is,
Gone. How would we
how
protect
about
the
the
children?
children?
Yeah.
We have children of 9 years, 3 years,
Yeah.
maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
How do we protect them? So the man tells you, or I will rent. If they have been renting, I'll rent for them a house so that my children are safe. And the
Yeah.
woman says, okay, I'll take care of the medical
Bills.
bills.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take care of everything concerning school.
Yeah.
So you find that you have dissolved your marriage, yes, but the interests of the children,
Children, yeah.
because the law provides that the welfare of the children must be observed
Yeah.
at whatever cost.
Yeah.
Yes, have your fights, have all your sorts of misunderstandings,
children
but
must
the
be
children
protected.
must be protected. The law, we have the Children's Act,
Yeah.
Cap 59 as amended. Please protect the rights of children.
Children, yeah.
So you find that the relationship between the two parties is actually preserved in that way.
Yeah.
They have consented, they're adults of sound mind,
Yeah.
and they've actually consented to having the marriage dissolved, but also the children's rights are protected, and the lives of the children proceeds. And such a divorce through consent
Yeah.
allows you to stay in the lives of each other
Yeah.
somehow through children. You are check on the person, open communication. We even agree and put all those terms into the consent. There shall be open communication.
Yeah.
This person shall handle this responsibility. This person shall handle this responsibility. So you know, at the end of the day, the responsibilities are shared, and there is a peaceful. The world never even gets to know about your divorce.
Yeah. You're good to go.
And you're good to go. You start your life afresh.
Yeah.
Than court, you're calling witnesses, you're calling an LC
Some
one.
even witnesses don't want to come.
Some witnesses you have to coerce them,
You have to
convince
ask
them
because
they don't want to fall into
to trouble of either of the party.
So you're not into all that. Your divorce is not exposed into the world, into people's mockery, into we saw them at the beginning. The marriage was everything. That woman thought marriage was her life. So you are out of the world's bitterness. It is a secret, proper process that you all go and live happily there after. And no one knows except you, the mediator, and the judicial officer that was handling, and maybe also the clerk who read the file.
Hakiza, let's talk about litigation and mitigation. How do they differ in terms of costing? Is mediation cheaper? Is litigation cheaper or expensive? Yeah, especially for those who would want to go for divorce and they would be out there, or any other matter that they would want to use mediation. What's the difference between the two in terms of cost?
Thank you so much, Bravo. One, we need to first identify what is mediation.
Yeah.
And what is
litigation.
Mediation is whereby a third party, a neutral third party, steps in to help facilitate a negotiation between two parties.
Yeah.
And while litigation is the actual court process, the one we know.
Yes.
The actual court process that is
tedious.
There's a
tedious,
presiding judicial officer, and they're going to hear the matter and give their final decision.
Yeah.
Now, what makes it, by the sound of it, mediation and litigation, one is cheaper than the other, or one is more cost effective than the other. So mediation is cost effective. In other words, sometimes, most of the times you don't need a lawyer during mediation.
Yeah.
We only need
the parties involved, not the lawyer.
And the mediator. It is the parties before a neutral party.
Yeah.
So you realize that you don't even have to pay a lawyer to be there for you during a mediation.
Yeah.
And sometimes us lawyers, with me involved, we tend to frustrate mediation.
Yeah.
Because we don't earn from them.
Yeah.
So mediation becomes cheaper because you do not really need
the services of a lawyer.
During mediation. And litigation, you need the services of a lawyer. You will need a lawyer to cite those laws and those articles, which you may not cite. You need someone experienced, someone who has studied the law, someone who has attained that practicing certificate to go and represent you, to argue out your case. But under mediation, you're actually tabling your ideas. You're not even arguing. You're tabling the possible, what you expect as a result of the mediation. So the fact that it's cost effective is, with mediation, you don't need legal representation. And with litigation, you need legal representation.
Wow. Which means that if you're having a lawyer, definitely they will charge you a lot of money. And we can't say, there are people who are very proud that me, I have a lawyer. I've seen it so many people. I have my lawyer. And some people, it's pride at the end of the day, but you have to spend the money. And we're not saying also do not use the services of lawyers. This is why these land fellows went to school. And that's why they are termed as land fellows. They have to eat from their own, profession. But in this case, we're looking at somebody who knows that through mediation, I can resolve my matter and I go back to my marriage. Or I can resolve this matter amicably and I have my divorce without pulling ropes or without hurting the children that are involved. At the end of the day, I know we all want to win. Everybody expects to win. But in the case of mediation or dialogue, it's not about winning, but it's having to come together and have an amicable solution for your challenge. Not so
mental health.
For mental health purposes as well, without having to pull up. Even when you have decided to divorce, it's very okay. We are not here saying that don't divorce. If you choose to divorce, it's your own choice. But how are you divorcing? I think that's, to me, how are you divorcing and how are you leaving these children or the other parties in this case? And this is amazing. Tell me, somebody out there may be wanting to divorce.
Or needs custody of
needs custody of children.
Or needs maintenance for the
children. And they have walked the journey and they have failed. But before we go for that, we've had in courts where even mediators are bribed. Where somebody comes, a man comes and bribes the mediator for the other party to accept. Even a woman can move ahead and bribe the mediators to make sure they manage a man, and the man accepts out of coercion. What do you have you seen such scenarios? Or even in your own profession, have you seen such where somebody has approached you to bribe you so that you can lean on one side as this mediation goes through?
Wow, you've had, yeah?
Yeah.
That means it is hearsay evidence.
Yeah, hearsay evidence.
So maybe that is an allegation that happened that maybe you get to hear out there.
Yeah.
But usually we are professional while handling mediation matters, because we are handling issues of the heart.
Yes.
When you're handling matters of family, one thing we should always put into considerations, we are handling matters of the heart. So you have got to be as neutral as you can. You have got to be as sensitive as you can to make sure that none of the parties leaves hurt, but both parties leave content with the consent they have put into action.
Yes.
Now, we do not listen to one party without the other.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we have survived the issue of bribery.
Yeah.
We do not listen to Bravo when Rachel is not there.
Yes.
I'm giving an example.
Yes.
We don't listen to Rachel when Bravo is not there.
Yes.
So I don't know how you're going to have an opportunity to bribe me when both of you are there.
Yes.
So when someone comes and says they've referred us for a mediation and this, the first thing we take is your name, your contact, and the contact of the other party if they're not there.
Yeah.
And we ask them, give us that person so we can communicate and give them the date we have scheduled for mediation. When you start to explain, but you see, when she comes, now there are those people, more so women, I'm sorry to say, who portray the man as evil.
Yeah.
Like they want to explain to you who the person is before even you get to meet them. Someone tells you, cancel Sajoli. That was one scenario that I got when the man told me, cancel Chaloya and Peter Chidomola. I can't even sit next to her.
Yeah.
We resolved that matter. Surprisingly,
So
it was one of my best.
To her husband again.
It is one of my best, most successful cases. Whereby the man who came crying, being called Chidomola, he went back home with his wife. He's a border man.
Yeah.
He went back home. He went back riding his wife.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. I usually stand and wave at them and smile. I keep check of my clients. I keep checking on them.
Yeah.
So we have that understanding that there's a possibility of us being compromised.
Yeah.
You may not really be bribed financially,
Yes.
but you can also be compromised
Yeah.
by how the person portrays
Yeah.
the respondent.
Yeah.
And they portray them as complicated,
Yeah.
as not understanding,
Yeah.
as mad. Someone can even go ahead and tell you, take him to the mental health hospital for check.
Yes.
And you're like, really? This is the man who has kids with you? This is the man that has provided for you? This is the man that has loved you? Because usually I'm a little provocative. I want to hear the before.
Yeah.
Before, now.
Now.
I want to hear, how was your first year of marriage? How was your, there are those who are cohabiting, they're not really married.
Yeah.
So how was your first 2 years? And someone says, kanso omusajja oli nali simulabangako ng'omusajja njagala ng'omusajja afaayo. So I want to hear the transition from omusajja afaayo to kidomola, or from omusajja afaayo to atalina magezi. So from that story of how it began, it helps me handle the both of you.
Yeah.
But I don't do that before the other party comes.
Yeah.
So when someone tries to explain about the other party, tell them, no, don't worry. We shall get to know that when you're here.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. On the hearing date, I'll hear from both of you.
Yeah.
And during the hearing, I give you ample time.
Yeah.
If it's 30 minutes here, 30 minutes here. If it's 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, so that you're able to fully blow out all your frustrations. And most of the times when people do that, come before us and speak and open their minds and tell us how they have been hurt, and the other party gets to hear, people go back and change. I have like 3 divorce matters that have been withdrawn in my time of practice. Of course, there are those that actually go through complete divorce, but I've had like 3 mediations that have been successful and the matters actually withdrawn. So we do not give room for compromise, because remember, we are under supervision of judicial officers. Any kind of report to a judicial officer that I bribed them, or I gave them my money and they didn't deliver.
So in this case, you avoid meeting one party.
We don't.
You don't meet one party. So in all this process, what if I call you and I want to meet you? I will not say in privacy, but I would want to meet you as the party involved in this matter that you're going to resolve. I would want to meet you first before you meet us both. Do you give me a chance as a man, or do you give her a chance as a woman?
There are those that are really exceptional and tells you, cancel. Nina umulimu. My boss will chase me if I keep in and out. And that's what the court process does. You're going to find yourself out of office every once a month. Ngenda mukoti. Chichi omuchala yampabira sirabirira baana. You know? So you have to be in and out of. So there are those people we exceptionally inform the other party. We inform the applicant and say, the respondent wants to speak to us. Do you think it is right? When you give us a go ahead, we listen.
Okay. When you say no,
when she says no, we don't listen. But we make sure we also convince them to understand the reason why the party wants to speak to us prior. And when they speak to us prior, and we hear that, and from them we hear that they're interested in the mediation, they're interested in providing for the children, they're interested in paying school fees, we also communicate. Or even times, I don't mind calling the other party to stay online as this person explains. I have done it several times. I'm like, well, talk to me, but she's online.
Okay,
so I put her on loud, she gets to hear, and he also gets to explain himself. And I'm like, okay, when do you want us to officially meet? And sometimes we even agree. The other person is not here, the other person is here, but we are on phone, virtually discussing this. And the man says, okay, chayagala, maybe nja kukola chino, and I don't do this. And the man says, it's okay. Me, as long as he pays fees and takes care of his children, I am good to go. So I'm like, good. Can we have a day? So I tell you, go prepare at work, prepare your boss, ask for 2 hours off. Let's draft the consent. That's how we've done it.
Wow, that's amazing. When we talk about FIDA, I know it's a brand out there. As a man, whenever you hear about FIDA, you thought FIDA was fighting the men.
No.
Because even up to today, I know there are so many women out there that are putting their husbands on tension. That any slight mistake you make, ngenda mu FIDA. Now, how do we perceive FIDA, and how do you encourage men to also understand that FIDA is not their enemy.
As a person who has worked with FIDA, I told
Yeah,
you, I
yeah.
passionately speak about FIDA.
Yeah.
It has actually, I don't know how to explain it,
Yeah.
but FIDA has stemmed my career, my
Yeah.
love, my
Yeah.
passion for family matters.
Yeah.
FIDA is a safest space for men.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can term it.
Yeah.
It is your safe space.
For men.
As a man,
Yeah.
FIDA is your safe space. Why do I say this? FIDA will give you an opportunity to explain yourself,
Yeah.
to explain those allegations
Yeah.
before anything happens. And that is why you see it is very hard for FIDA to proceed to go to court before engaging the parties. And actually, one of the organizations that has fronted mediation, it is FIDA.
Yeah.
So it's going to give you an opportunity
To be heard.
to be heard. And there are men who say, Nze, ogenda mu FIDA, okunsiba. They are very defensive. So
Yeah.
usually, while I was there, we would add a phone call on the letter you receive.
Yeah.
Nedda, jangu kulina kuba tunebwa ki ensonga zino tusobola zigonjoola ku meeza.
Yeah.
So you find that you've given someone already a proper preparation.
Yeah.
I keep telling people, proper preparation prevents panic.
Yeah.
So you help someone to get them out of that panic. So it is a safe space. If you ever receive a letter from FIDA inviting you for mediation, please.
Yeah.
Just go. It's a safe space.
Now, when you talk about mediation, again, there are more women involved in mediation than men in our court system. Is it because you're females or the nature of motherhood as mothers? What brings this? Majority of mediators in this case, in this country, are women mediating. And in this case, doesn't it compromise the rights of men? Because most of them are women. How have you protected yourself against that? Being labored that it's a women thing, trying to make sure that it's only women who should gain out of mediation.
Women, we're naturally patient.
Yeah.
We are naturals.
Yeah.
We love peace. Yeah? So one reason why, usually, like you say, I don't know how true that is, that most mediators are women.
Yeah.
I think it's because we are peacemakers.
Yeah.
We love to see peace prevail. And even the cases we receive, most of them in the mediation office are brought by women. And it's always the women who say, tusobola kukanya ku nsonga eno.
Yeah.
So you find that women have embraced mediation, per se, and they know the power of mediation. Yeah. They know what mediation can bring on table. In family matters, someone says, nze kyenjagala alabirira abaana. If someone says kyenjagala alabirira abaana, it basically means
that's already accepted.
Mediation.
Yeah.
And how are we going to have him take care of the children? Explain to him their rights. Yeah. The first thing I usually do is explain to these people, both the man and the woman, the value of mediation. Mediation. I tell you, mediation is going to help you. Yeah. It's cost effective. Yeah. It preserves relationships. It doesn't have you to argue about this or that. Yeah. It's a negotiation between the two parties. So you find that women easily embrace mediation. And usually when a woman embraces mediation, the man is like, oh, baba yagala tesa kanzije. Yeah. Yes? So that is how it has come to play.
Wow. Something I'd want to ask you.
Yes.
You're land friends.
Yes, we are.
I've seen most land friends are not married. Is it because of the challenges you've seen in the marriage, in the other part of marriage? Because if you're to look at most lawyers have actually not married. Most of them have refused to marry. Is it because of these challenges that you're always involved in? And how did you get motivated to be married, even when you are amidst most of these challenges of family?
I believe in God, yeah?
Yeah.
I love God so much.
Yeah.
And there's a scripture I love very much in Isaiah that says, at the right time, the Lord shall make it happen. Yeah. So at the right time, those lawyers shall get married. It is a matter of time.
It's a matter of
and
time.
it's marriage is not a must.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to get married.
Yeah, not everyone wants to get married.
So when they feel it is right for them, they will get married. Yeah. And when that time comes, they will get married. It's not about the profession. We also have doctors who are not married.
Yeah.
We also have teachers who are not married. So it's not about the profession. It's about
Personality,
me as a
yes.
person,
Yeah,
and the time.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Tell us, where did the land friends come from? Why do you term yourselves as land friends and you term others who are not lawyers not land friends?
It is evident, Bravo.
Tell us.
It is evident.
Well, yes, evident in what way that you're the land friends? Because I mean, a doctor will also tell you that he's a land friend in the other field. Why do you term yourselves as land friends?
And it needs us to have a topic of its own, so I
Uh-huh.
can gradually break it down for you.
Gradually,
But it's evident on the face of it.
in the face of it, we'll come back and discuss that and why lawyers consider themselves as the land friends. I know most lawyers, when you tell him my land friend, they're like, wow, I am a
He
lawyer.
understands that I am a lawyer.
He understands that.
And it's a whole topic.
It's a whole topic. We'll bring Hakis again to talk about it and discuss it. So, guys, once again, we would like to tell you that we appreciate Naria Motel, place where we do our podcast from. In a special way, we'd like to thank them for our tea, special things in this place. So please visit Naria Motel, and then you'll be able to enjoy those who love Kalo, Shabwe, and all other things, or even the plant lovers. In this place, you'll learn a lot about plants. Akiza, look in the camera and talk to the woman.
Yeah.
Who is about to file for their divorce?
And child custody.
And child
I don't want
custody.
us to only focus on divorce because I'm not an advocate for divorce.
For divorce. But look into the mirror and tell a woman out there who is attempting to divorce, or even men, because I mean, divorce, it's either way, man or woman. Look into the camera and tell them, what do they get from you in this our podcast?
Bravo has so much focused on divorce, but we do way back. We're more than divorce. We do child custody.
Yeah.
We mediate all those matters. We do maintenance, property, family property dispute, divorce. So it is my time to tell you that it is possible to handle that matter amicably. Very possible, and it will help you preserve the relationship with your family. It will help you maintain the sanity of the children. It will help you to keep, even after your separation, or even after the misunderstanding, it will help you to keep that communication. It will help you not to create a communication gap. So the beauty with mediation in family matters, the most important thing I keep telling people, there is 90% chances of preserving family relationships.
Yeah.
So yes, it is possible to have that issue, that legal puzzle, that legal problem resolved through mediation or through alternative dispute resolution.
Yes. You support Kawempe. Is this in every court in Uganda? Is this in every court in Uganda? For those who are not able to be in Kampala, is it everywhere?
Oh, yes. Actually, it is your duty,
Yeah,
as an applicant or respondent, to actually request the judicial officer handling your matter and tell them, please, I believe there's a possibility of success if we amicably handle this matter.
okay.
We please ask you to allow us mediate this matter and see if we can have the issue resolved amicably. And as I told you, judicial officers embrace mediation a lot.
Great.
They will refer you to a mediator, or you can actually choose a mediator for yourselves as parties. So it is very possible.
Wow.
You just have to embrace it.
She says that I'm more focused on divorce. Be honest. Among all the cases you're handling, I believe divorce has more cases.
Yes.
As the highest cases that you're mediating about.
Yes, divorce, child custody or children's custody, and maintenance. Those are the most common family disputes we receive. And property, family property, more so of families that don't have letters of administration and everyone wants to pick a leaf out of the land.
Yeah.
So we also have those, and we have successfully mediated most of them. Those that have come before us, we help them understand. There are those when we guide to help to get letters of administration. Someone is fighting over property, but they don't have letters of administration. They don't even know what to do. For them, they know tata wange ye nanyini one.
And that's it.
Tata wange yafa natulekera omusika. So the family heir is everything to them.
Yeah.
But not knowing that it is important for them to get letters of administration so that this property is well administered, even after that.
Yes.
The person has.
Great. There is a person who has already moved. on litigation process, and they feel they have already gone for litigation, is there a chance of somebody pulling out the case from litigation back to mitigation, to mediation?
Mediation, yes. Yes. Actually, me, I even encourage people that at the beginning, try mediation
Fast.
first.
Yeah.
Try mediation first. There are those who are by you are at the point of hearing, and the person is like, but wait, I can amicably handle this.
Yeah.
Or someone is told about handling matters under mediation. Has just brought in their first witness.
Yeah.
The matter has proceeded, and then they tell you, nsaba nteeseeko ne n'omuntu ono.
Yeah.
Even in criminal matters, and a complainant can tell you, nsaba nteese nani?
Yeah.
N'accused. An accused tells you, owekitiibwa omulamuzi nsaba kuteesa ne accused.
Yeah.
For example, if it's a matter of obtaining money by false pretense,
Yes.
maybe it's 30 million
Yes.
or 20 million, someone tells you, nze nsaba tuteese nani? Ne complainant.
Yeah.
And before you know it, they have a reconciliation agreement.
Yeah.
So with family matters, civil matters, we do mediation, and with criminal matters, we do reconciliation.
Is there a state where the state doesn't allow mediation? Are there scenarios where the state cannot allow mediation?
The state attorney represents
The
the
state.
complainant.
No, I mean the state as the government. By law, are there cases that you can't go for mediation?
Why would you go for mediation on a matter of defilement?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are cases that you cannot go for mediation, because I know there's somebody out there who says,
defilement.
Oh, my brother or my sister is in defilement, on a defilement case, we can choose to go for mediation. There are certain cases that are so criminal, like capital offenses.
Yeah.
There are capital offenses that you cannot go for mediation. And those ones are very complicated, and they have to go through litigation, because they have to find you guilty.
It is you against the state.
It is you against the state. So you have no control over this. But however, maybe
you can plead guilty.
You can plead guilty. You can choose to plead guilty.
Or you can go through plea bargain.
Plea bargain. So in all, there is a resolution, or there's a solution to everything, and in a manner that does not hurt the parties that involved, or even waste state money.
Or even waste your time.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, guys. It's my pleasure having Hakiza here. We'll always bring her once in a while. But if you feel there's something you'd want to know, write in the comments, write to me, DM me, or write anything. We'll be able to pick it up, and next she'll come and talk about it. And Hakiza is also here to guide you. She is a young lawyer. She knows everything. She can guide you in any case or anything that you'd want.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. In a brief points, would like you to conclude. Send out a message. Somebody out there that would say, wow, I remember that lady that was on Bravo Podcast. I should be able to look for her, and she guides me in my challenge.
Thank you so much, Bravo, for having me. I am so honored once again.
Pleasure.
One message I can leave behind is, if there is any dispute, let it be custody of children or a child, let it be maintenance, that you're not getting maybe maintenance from the father of your children. You are troubled on how to approach it, you can amicably resolve it. You can sit down with a neutral party and amicably resolve this matter. This is going to help you preserve the relationship of the father of your child with you and the child. So there is always a solution for every problem. My father keeps telling me, every problem has a solution. So I believe that is the best way family matters can be handled. But also, as and when a mediation fails, litigation is open. Yes, open. Because not at every mediation we handle is successful. There are those whereby you need a court order.
To force certain people to take certain decisions.
Someone, you invite them for mediation, they come and they adamantly tell you, I came because you invited me.
But otherwise, I'm ready for litigation.
I'm ready for litigation.
And they're ready to spend the money.
Exactly. They already have their lawyers paid. So, or they are not even willing to pay the lawyer, and they're telling you, me, I'll go and represent myself. There are those who represent themselves. So we do not force. We do not force people to mediate. It's two parties coming before a third party, that is the neutral party, the mediator, to amicably negotiate an issue.
Wow. Thank you so much, guys. It's a pleasure once again having Hakiza Praise a lawyer, and a land friend, accepting with her busy schedule to come up and share great information out there. Do you mind sharing your number? If it is acceptable, you could share a number for those, please, only for purposes of consultation. You can consult her and she can be able to guide you only for purposes of consultation and not anything beyond that. Feel free to give us your number if you're comfortable with that.
Wow. Tough one. My contact.
Yeah.
For the sake of us having further discussions on this,
Yeah.
or in case of any support you need,
Yeah.
any guidance you need,
Yeah.
it's 0788 367990. That is my official number.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Once again, anything you would want as well, DM me and we'll be able to continue the conversation. Thank you and all the best.